Hey y'all, got another Trillium beer I've never had before. Double dry hopped A Street. Oh, I've had A Street before a couple times. That's the Amarillo IPA from them. And I like it quite a bit. Amarillo is kind of a one-sided hop, but that side is great. It's just like super sweet, juicy citrus flavors are primarily what I usually get from Amarillo hopped beers. Of course, they use Columbus in this one. For the first part of the bittering and all that hopping stuff, Amarillo is the only thing in dry hopping for this one. It's 7.2% alcohol. It was canned 5 days ago. And looks great. Doesn't have as crazy high reviews as most of Trillium's double dry hopped beers because Amarillo kind of lacks that really hip, sought-after, tropical, juicy sort of flavor and aroma. But it smells very, very nice. And I like the head in there. That's looking just as murky as the double dry hopped beers from Always do. And oh yeah, it's just like pure, fresh squeezed orange juice. There's very little greenness I notice in these beers. Some people say it's floral, but floral is a very vague, unclear term. Flowers can vary in how they smell quite a bit, and some are very pungent and noticeable. Lavender, other ones are pretty subtle. And yeah, maybe this has some very subtle, light floral, perfumey notes going on. In addition to just lots and lots of like ruby red, super sweet grapefruit, not bitter grapefruit juice. And maybe a little bit of like candy, cotton candy, taffy sort of flavors from the yeast and the malt. I mean, maybe there's a touch of some sort of pineapple juice or something, but it's not as tropical as some of the newer wave hops and Southern Hemisphere hops out there. Yeah, I'm not getting any weird funky, skunky, onion, dank qualities at all in the nose, which is really nice if you're looking for a cleaner, just very pure citrus hop experience. Yeah, that's very nice. It's a little bit sharper and a little drier, more bitter than I expected. It might be in part from the double dry hopping, lifting up the perceived bitterness, and also that texture from this gets a little bit more chalky from all the haze in there. Yeah, it's got a good amount of grapefruit, almost sort of bitter grapefruit. The aroma was really sweet and juicy flavor, but I'm getting some nice bitter grapefruit juice flavors. Still not that bitter. It's still got a good amount of sweetness, like all the other A Street beers. It's always just like kind of the perfect on the edge bitterness from these beers that makes me really like it. It makes it just palatable enough because when I've had some of these 0 IBU beers, at first it seems like it's a really sweet beer and you can't really drink much of it, but often the flavors are just good enough that you keep going back for more. But this one hits you with a noticeable drying bitterness, like right off the bat. And I get some vanilla sort of cakey things going on. And like orange sherbet maybe is a good description, because sherbet is like somewhere between ice cream and sorbet. It's kind of a creamier, I think there's milk used in the process of it, so this has that creamsicle orange sherbet thing going on. But then on the tongue, it's getting a little resinous. I'm not getting really like pine flavors as such, but I'm getting some sappy, slight woodiness because of the bitterness, and it's nice though. It's dealing with all these sweet fruits that start out, and I am not getting any garlicky onion, maybe fresh ground pepper, but not like bell pepper or scallion. It might be I guess there's a little bit of a green menthol-y sort of flavor, a little bit. But this is actually surprisingly bitter. I think I had last their double dry hopped Sleeper Street that was El Dorado, and that one, I don't think it was as bitter as this one. But again, I've never had this before, and this might be only the second time they've made it. I didn't look it up too much, but there weren't many reviews online, and there were like 1,000 this month, but 3,000 total check-ins on Untappd or something. So I'm pretty sure then it must have come out before, but a couple of years ago perhaps. Yeah, and I guess I can see why it doesn't have the wildly high rating. It's a really, really delicious beer, but Amarillo just seems like it's a pretty one-sided hop. I think it's one of the highest hops, or one of the hops that has the highest amount of myrcene oil, which is what brings out the classic hoppy flavor, at least American hoppy flavor, like that's just pretty green, fresh cut everything and vegetables, or not vegetables and fruit. It's not as there aren't like specific vegetables like arugula, an onion, like I notice in like Mosaic and Citra. Sometimes those kind of smell sweaty and dank. It just smells like fresh cut oranges with some kind of greenness, just like the definition of hops, hop greenness. It's a dankness that you can't describe through other green things. It's just ineffable. I guess I should leave it at that. So it's really good. I give it an 80, 87. And especially if you're super into Amarillo and the citrus forward IPAs, I would do this one, but it's not one that I can just go on and on about describing weird, unique flavors that I haven't had in beers before. But it's real pleasant. And if you want, yeah, just kind of almost a more traditional IPA from Trillium that still has a Trillium character, but is just a little more old-fashioned, doesn't have all these frilly tropical fruit salad things going on. So 88, 86, 82 bags of popcorn.